Welcome back to the Moyne Way Podcast, where we explore the people, ideas, and everyday moments that shape life here at Moyne College. Told through authentic stories, open conversations, and the spirit that makes this community one of purpose and belonging. Thanks for joining us this week on the Moyne Way Podcast. And we have the one and only Kenyon Black in the building. My God, yeah, we got to put the cheering sounds in the back.
Yeah. No autograph, please.
No autograph.
At the end.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling blessed, man. Just
feeling good.
The weather got me in a mood, but it's like it's morning, it's noon, it's 1, then it's midnight.
Yeah,
it's like dark all the time. So
nah, real talk.
my body, I'm getting older, man.
Yeah, that's still an adjustment for me. Is getting used to like when I get out of work, it's already dark at 4:30. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But we were just mentioning off camera how you came here in 2010. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. What brought you to Lemoyne, and what was that process?
So the cool thing was I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I met my wife eventually.
Okay.
She's from Carolina, and so we came here for Thanksgiving, and she loved Syracuse. And I was like, she's like, let's move there. I said, look, we can move anywhere you want to, except Syracuse. Oh, come on, because I'm from here.
Yeah.
She said, oh, it's beautiful here. You got 4 seasons. I said, we got 4 seasons in a day, though. So I don't want to do this. Anyway, so the wife had spoken. I said, no. I put my foot down. Next thing you know, we're packing up a U-Haul, and we're here. Got a job offer at Lemoyne and Syracuse University. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the job at Lemoyne. It's smaller. I'm gonna stay here for 2 years, get my master's, and we're going back to North Carolina. My wife was like, put the house on the market, pack up your stuff, we're staying in Syracuse. And so it ended up being the best move for me professionally, for my family and everything. So it's great to be back in the community that developed me.
Absolutely. And what, I'm interested to know, like, what was your pull towards education and community? Like, where did that come from?
Oh, man, I don't know how long the show is, but listen, bud.
We got time.
So I'm a Syracuse native. Went to H.W. Smith, which is right across the street.
Yep.
Went to Levy, which was a middle school. Went to Nottingham High School. Education was never my thing. I was a student athlete in high school, was voted most athletic, and I played football, basketball, baseball. But then I was an athlete student, not a student athlete. And so colleges would come and look at my grades like, you can't get in, you don't have the grades. So I ended up going to Hobart, played football there, then I transferred to Cheney University, which is in Pennsylvania, the first historically black college and university. It's like a full circle. When I got to college at Cheney that I learned to be a student athlete. And then education became like, oh, I like this. I've always loved working with children, always been a thing for me. Worked in corporate America for about 10 years. Working in the hotel industry, I ran the front desk, did all that kind of stuff. But I wasn't being fed. I was like, I'm making good money. I'm a single guy. I got hair. I got a waistline. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm like, but this isn't doing it for me. So my best friend was like, yo, you gotta work with kids, man. That's your thing, man. That's your gift. And again, full circle. Started working here. Best job ever. It's the best job. It's perfect for my personality, my need to love and my need to be loved.
Wow.
It's like, oh my God, this is it. And I've realized how much education didn't afford me the opportunities because I didn't take advantage of it. So I want to make sure the kids in my program, you would not have that excuse.
Wow. And was it a mix of like that experience, but also having like people in your life?
So people in my life, and people were pushing me, but I didn't want to be pushed. And so I would do the total opposite. So I'm going to be transparent. All 4 years of high school, I went to summer school. I never walked in high school for my graduation. I had to go to summer school. So it wasn't until I got to college that I realized, you can do both. You can be academically sound. So once I did that, I was like, okay, I have a story to tell. Now the kids see the outcome. They see me with my master. They see me with, they think, oh, that's how it's been. Nah, Mr. Black struggled. Mr. Black was good at English, science, whatever. When it came to math, when they started putting letters in math, I was done.
Wow.
I struggled, and so instead of dealing with it, I made people laugh. And so then I realized, were they laughing with me or were they laughing at me? So I never took advantage of the support that I had until later on. Then I realized, oh, they were supporting me, but I didn't see it that way because they were supporting me the way they wanted to support me.
Yes, sir.
So I learned in this job, you got to support people the way that they can hear it, the way they can feel it, the way, because people can hear what you're saying, but are they listening? So I learned, okay, For you, I got to do it one way. For John, I got to do it one way. For Pam, I got to do it one way. Everything's different. And I learned that, okay, you can't do the same thing with everybody.
Wow. And where did that perspective shift come from?
Man.
With like because there's a lot of kids, especially in Syracuse. I was working in the city schools for a little bit, but like, yeah, they usually keep that mindset and that hard-headedness kind of a long time. So like, what woke you up to be like, hold on, I gotta start being a little bit more open?
Okay, yeah. So my best friend, we went to college together, and when I went to my first college, I was by myself for the most part. When I went to college with him, I didn't want to disappoint him, and I saw him studying. I'm like, you study? He's like, yeah. That's okay. So I started doing that just out of embarrassment. For me, it was seeing that because I didn't hear what people were doing for me or trying to do for me, I knew I got to find a way to make these kids trust me and trust what I'm saying, that this is going to benefit you. So, like you said, kids come up with natural barriers, protective walls. That's the defense mechanism for a lot of kids. I don't trust you because people that come in my life are never here full term. People who come to my life are here for a reason or here for a season, but they learn from me, yo, Mr. Black really loves me. Mr. Black really cares that I'm doing X, Y, Z. So when I saw Chloe on your podcast, I mean, you'll learn this later on. I cry all the time. I'm about to start crying now. When I saw her, I remember her being like very timid, very intimidated, never wanted to share her story. Now, she's an open book because you realize what she's saying is going to save somebody else that's just like her right now.
Come on.
Chloe is that. Chloe, I love you. You're a wonderful young lady.
Shout out to Chloe.
Yeah. Big shout out to her. And she's like, Mr. Black, I plugged in Upward Bound. You better have, girl. I dealt with you for 4 or 5 years. You better have. But yeah, just a wonderful child. And again, all the kids in my program have done something for me that's beyond a paycheck.
And we're talking about Upward Bound here,
Yeah,
right?
beyond Upward Bound, yeah.
Yeah, and so when you first got into education, was it like an instant, this is what I want to do?
This is what I want to do. But what I learned, what I learned was I didn't want to be in a classroom.
Okay.
And I did that for a while when I was living in Charlotte. I did that for a while, but that was too controlled. I needed something where I can bring, well, I'm not teaching for a test. I'm teaching life skills, so forth and so on. So when this job came open, I was like, again, I started in one position. I worked my way up to the program director. But everything they were doing was building, kind of like Lemoyne, building the whole student. It wasn't just the academics. It was taking them on trips. It was having those difficult conversations, doing all the things to build this incredible person. That's when I was like, this is the part of education that I like.
Wow.
In high school, I didn't want to hear about Christopher Columbus. I didn't want to hear about, all these, Mark Twain. Nothing was relevant to me. That's why education never really turned me on until I got to a historically black college. And they were like, you know who John Brown is? John Brown was this abolitionist, this white guy who fought for black rights. Never heard that in my life.
Never.
No, I heard that through my parents' conversation. My mom would say, instead of saying a bad word, she would say, well, I'll be John Brown. And I was like, what is John Brown? And then I didn't realize it was actually a person.
Wow.
So stuff like that, I'm like, we never get that. So that's why being in this position, I want to make sure the kids in my program are learning something about themselves. We learn from them as well, and giving you what you can't learn in academic settings at their schools.
That's everything. And did you have a good picture of education growing up, like in your household?
I did.
And stuff like that?
So both my brothers, one went to Howard University, one went to Norfolk State.
Okay.
So my parents did not have a 4-year degree, but they pushed for education. I had a lot of family members who pushed for education. So I always had the bones to it, but I was so worried about the makeup of it instead of like strengthening up the muscles and stuff like that. So I always knew education was going to be the outlet to get me to a place, to get me to a certain table that you had. Even right now, how many people are in the field that they got the degree in? Not that many.
Right.
But by having that piece of paper, it allowed you to check that box off when you're applying for jobs. So I always knew education was going to get me into that room and then get me the validation to showcase my abilities. So that's what I'm telling my kids now. Like, once you move from that one pile of high school graduates into the college graduates or master's level, then you're able to move in ways that other people can't.
Yeah, so true. And when you got into education, you started working with these kids. What impact did you start to see that have on you, and how did they start to, positively like shift your perspective and things like that?
So as a director, I hire teachers, I hire tutor counselors and stuff like that. I always tell my staff during staff development, find you in the room. When you're in the classroom, find you. What did you always need? And that was, creating a positive learning environment. So what these kids did for me was they trusted me. They value what I said. So like in the beginning, we do a presentation at all the middle schools. We encourage them to come join Upward Bound. We tell them it's a 4-year commitment. It's not a club. This is, to get in, it's really hard. But once you're in the kingdom of Upward Bound, you become privileged to a lot of things. I'm a man of my word. So when I say these things in these presentations, some kids are like, man, who is this bald head fat dude talking about? But then they be like, when they get in, they're like, yo, Mr. Black, everything you said was true. If I do X, Y, Z, yeah. So trust in me, and everything I do is out of love, then I'm gonna tell you the good and the bad about how we can get you to the next level. So by them trusting me, and now I'm a parent as well, so I know how kids are your treasures, and you don't trust people with your children. So I had to, earn the trust in the kids, earn the trust in the families. So these kids have given me hope for the future that they're going to do everything out of love because that's what they were taught in Upward Bound. Not just education. Again, 1 + 1 is 2. We get that. But what else can you do with that? And so it's so cool about Upward Bound is some kids are friends in my program that would have never been cool with each other had they not been in Upward Bound. Because at the high school, unfortunately, we live in a time where being smart is corny. My kids know, yo, I'm bragging about my stuff. And then they get around other people, leaders like themselves, who are driven and want to be academically sound and get to the next level. That's the company you need to have. No longer that crab mentality of a kid climbing up and let me grab you back down because you can't leave without me. These kids are always pushing. So these kids do so much for me, and I love them so much. And so, I know, again, I work with kids. I don't get paid much. My staff, you don't do this for money. You do this for love. And so what this job taught me was, I tell the kids all the time is, don't chase money, find your passion. So some kids are like, Mr. Black, I want a job like you. You always seem happy. I said, yo, when y'all graduate, when y'all get your job, when y'all do all these wonderful things, that's my paycheck, man. They know to text me. They know my love language. Let me just send Mr. Black a message. Hey, Mr. Black, this is how I'm doing in college, yada, yada, yada. Mr. Black, they know that's what makes me happy, that they know what makes Mr. Black happy. Let me just check in on Mr. Black, because he always checked in on me. So I learned so much from these kids, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Creating a safe space, and that trust is everything. Relationships, right? My mother's in education. She says everything starts with relationships. Everything starts with relationships. And when you talk about education, too, something I'm hearing from you is it's not just, like you said, test or in-school stuff. You're educating them about life.
About life.
What is those different facets of education look like, when you're, handling these students?
So, again, we know you have the exams, you have these regents, you have these SATs. Those are things we have to do. Right. We know that part. But we make sure in the mix of all that, they're learning about themselves, they're learning about culture, they're learning about the community that they're in, they're learning about their purpose. So education can be whatever you want it to be, but some things you have to go through. But other things, we're going to make you read something that's not in a textbook. We're going to make you go to... We took the kid, and you might appreciate this as well, to get a library card. Kids in high school don't have library cards because they have no need to go to the library. Because everything, we have a textbook, we have a MacBook, so exposing them to other things. There's a book about XYZ, and they go and they learn about it. Just exposing them to things. What I learned in education, you can't assume anything with these kids. You can't assume they should know better. They should know that. No, they don't know.
That's a good point.
They don't know these things because they've been programmed to just do this, just do that. So education can be more than a textbook. You can educate a kid about life. You can educate a kid about somebody else's perspective and how to live and learn with people. You can educate them about everything.
Absolutely. And you're from Syracuse, so this is a question for you, but also what have you seen like when it comes to these kids being greater than their environment? You grow up and it's so easy to fall susceptible to just believing in what you see and just acting that out. How do you teach kids, and how has it expressed itself in your life, like being greater than the environment, not falling susceptible to the things that I'm seeing?
That's a great question. So, Syracuse, again, I grew up here, so I remember when Syracuse used to have like a lot of plants and like where families were making six figures without high school education because they had all these different plants and factories here. So families were making so much money. When those plants left Syracuse, I saw Syracuse die a slow death.
Wow.
That's when drugs came in because people were trying to make money a different way, or people were trying to cope with things a different way. So fast forward. These kids, when we do our presentation, we are pretty much pulling them into our world, saying high schools have a ceiling. An A at Nottingham, Henniger, Corcoran, Fowler, whatever does not make you college ready. So you come to Upward Bound, we're going to feed you the other things that you need to be as prepared as you can be for college and going forward. If people just listen to kids are quite brilliant. People think, what does that kid know? He's only 14, 15. So many kids have lived a full life by 14, 15 years old. So when they come to Upward Bound, I embrace that. Okay, I know you had some challenges. Mom and dad might not be in your life, or so forth and so on. Let's take that and use that to help build you up. So you don't go back. So you break the domino of, my family was poor, so therefore I'm going to be poor. No, we can break that. So again, that's what education can do for you.
Wow.
These kids are so, if you give them the opportunity, if they feel like they're being heard, then they will, again, back to trust, then they will value what you say and then grow with you. And then, again, there's some kids I could just strangle. Cut that out. No, I could just, But then you learn, this is just what they do because they're afraid. Okay, trust me. And then once we get that, then we can take them to places that they never thought about doing. But, and sometimes, even I say this all the time, now that my kids are growing and they're going to, now I can step out of the way because they're going to be the ones to make the change. This old guy is not going to be able to do it. You're in between,
Yeah.
So don't I know you got that hair flowing, but value that hair now. But so you just never know. But these are the kids that are going to change the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just it's so important, just shifting their perspective and helping them to see something different. I think a big part of that also is having faith. Now, faith, I think it can be universal to anything. I view faith through a very universal lens, but I'm interested to know how faith is expressed in your life and how it comes into play in your work and you see it expressed in students as well.
So just like Lemoyne, we have a very diverse faith background. We have, my job is so dope. I just got to say, okay, so I'd never heard of Ramadan. I've heard of it, but I never understood what it was. We had some young people that were celebrating Ramadan. So therefore they have, different meal times and so forth and so on. It's just when I started working here. And so they had to have food brought to them at night. They had to eat. So we had to shift the program around the faith and what they, with the culture and so forth and so on. And I was able to learn from them. Mind you, I was able to eat well. When I say they ate like kings and queens, but then you saw these young people in there praying. They have a certain thing that they do, and I was like, wow. So I asked them, can you showcase that to our kids in our program? Because our kids don't understand what you're doing, or you have to step out of the classroom to go pray.
Yeah.
I've been in settings where that wasn't allowed. That do it on your own time. Not. You have to allow them to be who they are, regardless of sexual orientation, religious background. You have to allow people to be who they are. So my faith, I am a deacon at my church. I believe in God. But some people believe in Jehovah, so I respect that. Some people, Buddha, I respect that because that is who you believe. I'm not going to tell you what you can and cannot do. So faith has been great for me. It allowed me to be very strong in times where I felt weak.
Yeah.
It gave me a great my mom, the mother of the church. My dad, when he was in elementary, he could read at a high level, so he would read at the church and do all. So I came from a very good religious background, and my faith has grown as an adult, as a husband, as a father to kids who are not my blood children. Like, my faith has allowed me to be who I am, and it brought the best Kenyon Black that I could ever have by that faith.
That's beautiful. And when you're working with these kids, what do you think is one like common theme you see transcend all kids? Something that you're like, yeah, this is something that most kids are dealing with, going through, whatever it is.
So, Syracuse is so small, and I say this: everything is 15 minutes away. If somebody said, "I'm 15 minutes away," that means you never left where you were. Everything is. Kids come pick up, parents come pick up your kids. I'm like 15 minutes. No, you never left where you were.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's fast forward. So the common theme that I see is everything impacts these kids. So if something happens at another school or another neighborhood, Syracuse is so small, there is a common thread somewhere.
Very true.
And these kids are dealing with trauma at a level that, as an adult, I'm 54 years old. I could not imagine how they survive. I want them to do well in school, but they're worried about the next meal. They're worried about these fights that are happening in schools, in the neighborhoods. These kids are dealing with trauma, and they normalize everything. That's not normal. So when when something happens in the world, and whether it's in Washington D.C. or whatever, these kids have normalized everything. Oh, okay. I remember hearing a kid, there was a party and something happened, and the kid was like, oh yeah, it was a fight and somebody got shot. And if I watch a movie that had too much violence, I gotta watch Bugs Bunny afterwards just to kind of clear my head.
Absolutely.
These kids are like, oh, that's just what it is. And I feel like all these kids never deal with what's really going on with them. They have this incredible poker face, and I'm not talking about Lady Gaga. They have this incredible poker face of like, I can fake my way through it. And then we expect these kids to be
right.
Oh, you should know. They're dealing with stuff, man. And that's why when the kids come on Saturdays or they're with us during the summer, I have to bring your most authentic you. And then I can clean this off. I can buff this out. We're going to build the perfect you, the best you.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's such a good point, because when I was in the schools and I'm just watching, I'm observing, so many of these people who are supposed to be leading these kids, teaching these kids, I mean, they're adding to the fire. They're like steering them the wrong way. It's just it's a tough thing, because if you don't have that understanding within yourself, you're not going to be able to understand it in somebody else. So it's a very tough nuance.
So I'm fortunate that we work with kids. We work with 84 kids in our program.
Okay.
Obviously, that's not the school districts are working with thousands and thousands of kids. People are so quick to point out what's wrong with the child instead of what's going on with the child. So he comes in and he's being aggressive coming off the bus because something happened. He's not thinking about academics. He hasn't been fed. You can't feed your mind until you feed your stomach. Like, people see, like, oh, come on, we offer, yeah, but do you offer them love? Are you doing it out of just to do it? Like, these kids have to believe in you, and yes, some are harder than others to work with. But people are so quick to judge. And then people forget, weren't you a kid before? You were a kid before. Now, I was not the greatest kid. I mean, I was a wonderful child. But I goofed off a lot. Yeah. And so my teacher figured out a way, you know what, Kenyon, this is what I'm going to do. Miss Young, my science teacher at Nottingham High School, she was like, you know what, Kenyon, if you behave, I wasn't like a bad kid. I just goofed off. And she was like, if you do what you're supposed to do, on Friday, I will give you 10 minutes to do stand-up.
Oh, it's a wrap.
I was like, oh, so I got to be, yep. But all the teachers, we know. Okay, boom. And again, I wasn't a bad guy. I want my mom and dad thinking I was really bad. Which camera am I looking at? Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I just, and again, instead of working on my academics, I figured out a way to kind of get through the day. So anyway, I would get up there and do a little, hey, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, I'm Kenyon Black, and I would do it. And I was like, oh, okay. And so again, she figured out, how can I get Kenyon? This is what I'm gonna do. And so, do people do that now? Nope. They get a paycheck. And then right now, teachers don't feel supported, so they're like, I'm gonna do the bare minimum. I'm not gonna jump in and stop that fight, or I'm not gonna help, stay after school with this kid. Sometimes after school might be the best time you can reach that kid, mentally, physically. That's the best time to. No, I ain't got time for that. So, even in higher ed, we're all going through a very tough time where people feel like, let me just do what I have to do and going back home and leave work. I never leave work. When I get home, work is on my mind 24/7. What can I do for these kids? What's the next thing we can do for these kids? Some people, they clock out. That used to never be a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's it's real. And I think another thing too is what you're speaking about is, like, you talk about these kids having trauma and all of this stuff that they're not navigating. A lot of these people in positions where supposed to be leading and teaching, you, like you said, were once that kid, but they haven't navigated it either. So it's just like a cycle of like being birthed into this environment. You have all this stuff internally, and now you're in a position where you're supposed to be teaching, leading, helping people love, but you haven't done that work. So it just goes on to the kid, and then they come up. It's the same thing. Household, education, all of these things. It's a cycle.
I think everybody needs counseling.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people don't do certain things because they're afraid of what it's going to bring back. They're afraid of, if I help, that was me. If I help them, I'm going to relive what I. So they just kind of, they separate the two. And again, kids see it. Kids, and people wonder why you're not supposed to have favorite kids. You're not supposed to have a favorite teacher. But some kids have a favorite teacher. It's not what they taught them, it's what they make them feel like. They feel heard. They feel valued. That's why they want to hang in your room for lunch. That's why they always want to come to your classroom, even when they're not supposed to be in your classroom, because they just feel safe. Feeling safe is something that people don't value enough.
Having a safe environment, it's everything. Because if you're not feeling safe, you're in fight or flight. You're closed off. There's no. I'm not receptive to hearing what you got to say or taking in information because I'm. You know what I mean? What about, a lot of these kids have a lot of dreams, visions, and things that they want to do. It could be a multitude of things. One, they just don't believe it's possible for them, or they just have a lot of fear over putting themselves out there. From your personal experience, when you've had those moments come up where you wanted to take a leap, you wanted to do something career-wise or personally-wise, like, what led you or helped you to overcome that fear, overcome the doubt, overcome the questioning, can this actually work?
God, that's a great question. Again, my faith, my family. I was fortunate to have a house that was the house for everybody in the neighborhood. Like, I live on the east side, like around the corner from Moyne's campus. My mom and dad created a house that was like, you're going to be the best you. And you might try this. You might try that. Then you might try something like, that's not for me. Some people don't have an opportunity to pick and choose. They just do, and they're stuck, and they're miserable. Some people go to work. I go to make a difference. Some people have jobs. I have a career. Some people have this. I have something I'm passionate about. So, again, my faith, my family. My brotherhood, my circle of friends. I can honestly say, and I'm not here to brag, but like, my core of my fellas are doing rather well because we held each other accountable. If we ever got off track, yo, Black, come on, man. You said, okay. You got to have that. So having somebody in the room advocating for you, somebody not in the room advocating for you, having that, and then having that support. So it's just really my support. Like right now, if I need anything right now, I know somebody I can call. I know somebody I can call that knows somebody else. Some people don't have that. I have brotherhood, friendship that have been from kindergarten to now. Black men, white men.
Wow.
I have incredible circle of people in my life. So that has always been, I've been fortunate. Like I don't have that sad story, personally, because my foundation was thorough, was firm. So again, family.
They did a study in child psychiatry, I believe.
Okay.
And they said the number one thing that dictates a child's success is support, their support system. So you speak about that. That's huge because a lot of kids don't have that.
They don't have it, man. And so it's cool. Like, the people that used to come to my house, like, again, my mom and dad are village mom and dads. Like, everybody calls my mom and dad mom and dad. I had to learn, I have to share my parents. My daughters learn, I have to share my parents. Because some people don't have that. Like, my mom and dad still go to my high school games.
I've never heard that. That's good.
Yeah, you have to share your parents. Because some people, people are selfish. People, so my best friend said he learned how to love his wife seeing my dad love his wife. I remember your dad came home with flowers to your mom, not because you did anything wrong, just because he wanted to. He learned, like, being available. My dad would drive, if I had a game somewhere, my mom and dad would drive wherever, into the mountains. This is before they had GPS. This is when they had a AAA map, and they would just sit there and. But my friends knew my parents are not going to come, but I know Kenyon's mom and dad is going to be there. So even now, they still go to the high school games. They still go to the Pop Warner game. They still go because the kids need to see that familiar face in the crowd. So that's what I do as a parent, as an educator. I go to the plays. I go to the football games. I go to the volleyball because the kids need to see that familiar face. And then they don't want to disappoint you. So if you're there, they're not going to act a fool because Mr. Black will get on them. So they know, okay, Mr. Black is this. Let me.
Facts.
Yeah, so they do all that.
Because you've built that relationship with them and they love you. What is some advice that you instill into these kids that you learn from your mother and father?
Man, you should be on network television, bro. These questions. Love people for who they are. Like, I had a brother who passed away, died of AIDS, and it's the AIDS month, in 1995. He was bisexual, a drug addict, but the most genius person you ever met. Like, my parents, even though they never understood drug addiction and stuff like that, they still love my brother. So love people through the good times and the bad times. Because I know people who are not loved by their parents, so then they go and depend on other things. My brother made a choice, but was never not because of love. He was always love. So my parents have always been love, make your house available, make your heart available, make your phone available, make your ears available, make yourself available. My mom and dad are big on, if I'm talking to you, I don't want to see you looking at television. I don't want you on your phone. I want you here with me so I can hear everything you're saying. My parents, that's what they instilled in me. So my kids in my program, you can't have cell phones. And they think it's a punishment. No, because I need you all here with me. And I need to be here with you. It goes both ways. So they've always taught me that. Like, working with kids, working with adults, whatever. People want to be heard. People want to be valued. And once that happens, that's where the trust comes. That's when I know people that work for me that only do it because they love what I do, they love what we do, but they love the environment that I created. These teachers work in settings where they're dealing with it 24/7. Then they come here on Saturdays like, now I'm with these kids that want to be here.
Yeah.
And I tell my teachers, my job is to help you burn that fire to why you want to be in education. I know a lot of people who leave education because of the stress of it. Not with me. I create the environment that, that when you come here, these kids are going to do what you say because they know Mr. Black don't play. And they know, okay, what I'm doing makes a difference. Then they can go home. So, and I know I can babble, but like, right now in education, whether higher ed, grant programs, this is a very tough time with this current administration. Very hard time. throughout the week, I'm stressed. I'm trying to figure out stuff. I'm trying to find money. Because I don't want my kid to feel any of the cuts or any of the money issues that we're having. On Saturdays, when I hear those kids walking in the building, when I see their faces, everything's better for me. Mm. I'm no longer mad. I'm no longer upset. When they walk in, hey, Mr. Black, little corny kids, and we have these little corny handshakes and blah, blah, blah. When they walk in, I'm the happiest person in the world. Then they walk out, then I got to go back to the reality of the world. When they're here with me during the summer, it's residential, so they live with us. So they're here, they're eating, they're in classroom, they're here from Sunday to Thursday. You build this relationship with them, and I get to learn more about these kids. Then I'm like, yo, you're dope, man. Like, and these young ladies, yo, you're a superstar, you're a superhero. All these people, and that's because I get to see them in the most authentic. Again, teachers can't get that. They see them from morning till afternoon, and then they're out. We're here and we're walking through the campus. It's hot in these dorms. We're eating the cafeteria food. We're doing everything together, and it's like we're doing. It's a great place to be. And I know I say this all the time. This is the dopest, best job ever.
Yes.
Can't nobody tell me.
I feel you.
Nothing.
It's evident too, just how you carry yourself, and also just the impact. Like, I mean, the amount, the things that are said about the program and about yourself. I mean, it shines light on everything that you're saying. So, I feel you. You almost had me. Tear up too. Last thing I want to get into before we get into the quick fire round is emotional intelligence, emotional health, because something I'm also picking up on is you have a certain level of emotional intelligence. You're speaking in a very compassionate and empathetic way about these kids. How did that develop in your life, emotional intelligence? And then how do you work with these kids on building that emotional intelligence, resilience, understanding emotions?
Mom and dad. So again,
shout out to them.
Mom and dad. I had great aunts and uncles. Again, great foundation, great people around me who just instilled things in me that I didn't understand then, but I get it now. That's why I'm like a chameleon. I can be in any setting. I'm dope. I'm good. I can be uppity. I can be on the block. Whatever. I'm good. This is something that I'm blessed to have. This skill set is beyond academics. So somebody can be book smart, but have no idea how to relate to people, how to make people feel open and feel comfortable. So again, it's just my foundation is everything. And so when it comes to health, the mental health part of it, we do a collaboration with the grad program here, where they come and they counsel our kids. They get their hours in. They work with our kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I put that in the grant. Like we're providing not just the academic side, the mental health side. We want the kids to have these things in their tool belt, so when something happens, they know how to deal with it. Most kids just process it, take it in, and they just keep eating it, yes. And then their stomach gets upset. Now they don't know why they don't feel good, because they haven't processed what's going on. So we have put that into our playbook with our kids to make sure counseling is good. Knowing what to do when something happens only makes things better for you. By not dealing with it, then you become this adult who doesn't know how to do certain things, who doesn't know how to handle certain things because you never dealt with it when you were younger at the time. So all of that matters. So again, this program is not just the academics. We want to build you up so when you go to college, you know how to advocate for yourself. And you know when something, we have a thing that we say in Upward Bound is be comfortable being uncomfortable. Then we also teach them it's okay not to be okay. But when you're not okay, what are you going to do? Who are you going to be around? Who can you go to? How can you advocate for yourself? At the Black Man, you know, we were taught, hey man, do some push-ups. You'll be all right. My mom and dad were like, no, cry, pray.
Wow.
Whatever you need to do to get you through this, and let's have a conversation. So my cousin Al Hicks, who was the athletic director at Nottingham, even as a kid, he always said, let's just talk, man. And so even now, hey, let's get all the fellas together. Let's just get in a room. No agenda. Let's just talk. Let's just see how everybody's doing. That's forward thinking. Because every husband, every man, every father needs to have that circle of people that can just be the most authentic self, man. Just have that conversation. Like this right here, this is therapy right here, bro.
Absolutely.
Like being able to just like get out of your system. And you know, man, I can brag about Upward Bound 24/7.
I love it, man.
My wife hears it in her sleep.
Nah, it's real. I love it, man. This is, man, it's just you're hitting. And then last thing I'm gonna say, because what you're saying is so real. Like, yeah, when you're taught at a young age, especially as a man, to not feel your emotions or to mask it, do push-ups or don't cry, don't do none of that. Then the only thing that we feel comfortable expressing is anger. Right? They call anger a secondary emotion, right? But it's always masking something underneath. And it's like, yeah, if you're not able, like you said, to process what you're doing, what's going on, feel what you need to feel, communicate with somebody, I mean, that stuff will just consume you.
And my parents, again, have taught me, if somebody crosses your mind, let's say you think of somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, just reach out to them. There's a reason, because God is trying to tell you, I don't want to get all, but God is saying, hey, I need you to be a shepherd. I need you to go check on. And I've done that. Sometimes I've been too late. I'll do it tomorrow. Next thing you know, that person's gone. Or that person needed that conversation yesterday, and I didn't do it. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going to make myself available whenever I can. And you have to, because somebody needs you. And sometimes when they're talking, you're getting some cleansing in yourself.
That's what's happening right now.
Yeah,
for me. Hey, there we go. For real talk. And that's a really good practice. I've been, I have a good Tom Andino. You know Tom.
Yeah, that's my guy.
He was really the person who really taught me the importance of, like, if you're thinking of somebody, even if it's somebody you haven't talked to in years, send him a text, reach out, do something, whatever it is. And we go and have breakfast. He and I. He's amazing, man.
Such a good dude.
For real.
I
see why y'all connect, man. For real.
Yeah.
Y'all
Mr. Rogers, that's my guy.
Yeah. He's locked in. All right. We're gonna move to the quick fire round. These are just rapid, short, authentic answers. Quick, no overthinking. You got this. So yeah, Kenyon, these are your quick fire round questions. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm slow. Nah, let me stop. All right, let me stop.
We gonna after the camera's off. We gonna vibe.
Yeah, we gonna vibe, because I do drink decaf, but at nights, like, I love to do tea. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Okay. Favorite food spot in or around Syracuse?
Okay. Don't play it. Don't. I love Red Robin, the restaurant in Fayetteville.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You get a turkey burger. I get a turkey burger with egg, avocado, endless French fries, and you get a balloon on the way out. Tell me that ain't fire. Place to be. Okay.
Red Robin, yeah. Their theme song is like Red Robin. Something like that.
There you go.
Okay. If you could learn any skill instantly, what would it be? Anything.
Language. Any language.
You could speak all languages.
All languages.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yep.
That's fire. What's one thing most people don't know about you?
I don't like public speaking. I'm nervous. I get through it.
Same.
I can't stand sitting in front of a mic.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's exactly the same with me. Even though I do a podcast, but it's just, that's why. Dream dinner guest, anyone dead or alive?
Michael Jackson.
The goat, man.
Right.
The goat. I can't wait to see that new movie too.
But listen,
I'm there.
I'm ready. I got my outfit. Listen. I got my one glove. I'm gonna have a little wig on. I'm have that drip. Yeah.
One word to describe Lemoyne.
Community.
Who or what inspires you most right now?
My family. Like, my last name is Black, and I want it to be on the top shelf. Oh, you know the Kenyon Black? Yeah. You know Mrs. Black? Yeah. You know Mr. Black? Yeah. You know the Black? The Blacks are all that. Good people.
Come on. That's beautiful. And if everyone Usually it's if everyone from Lemoyne, but I want to broaden this. If everyone from Syracuse was listening right now, what's one message you would want to share with them as we end?
Thank you. Thank you, Syracuse, because I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for Syracuse. People can knock it. It's so small. It's not New York City. Yeah, it's not Brooklyn. Whatever. Syracuse is a great place to raise your family. It's a great place to grow. It's a great place to love. It's a great place to be. It has its up, it has its down, but it has everything you need.
Come on.
Yep.
And last thing, I want one more.
Okay.
Some advice for the educators out there, for the people that are trying to inspire the youth, for the youth, like just some encouragement, some advice that you would want to give to those people who are, thinking about this field or in this field.
We need you. If you love children and you love what they can be, education's the place to be. Don't go for a paycheck. You are valued. You are needed more than ever. Second thing is, get on this podcast because you will learn more about yourself while you're talking and you're having this conversation with a great young man. That's another great option for them.
I appreciate
it. But yeah. Education, man, we need y'all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kenyon.
Yeah.
That is going to be it for today. We want to give a huge thanks to LCTV for making this podcast possible here in this beautiful studio space, to the Carroll College of Arts and Sciences, to the Grace Center for making this possible, and to Put God's First, whose support also helps to make this podcast run each and every week. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Grace Center and LCTV in the links below. We also want to give a huge shout out to Upward Bound and Kenyon Black. And we will see you guys next week. Appreciate you. That was great, man. Yeah, for real.